I don't know when, maybe next week, maybe in 5 years, but the day will come for this idea. And when it comes, I'm going to ask you for your money. I'm going to ask you to be a teacher. I'm going to ask you to be a couple of things. I'm telling you now because I need to make it real. And the way I make shit real is I say it out loud. And so they're like, okay, sounds pretty good. Like, come to us whenever you're ready. Yeah. And so the seeds have been planted for this idea. So I challenge you
to start saying, let's do it now. And I got your back. And I would do it with you.
All right. Yeah. Done.
New York City.
Silicon Valley, home of the world's largest tech companies and thousands of startups. I mean, I'm talking about YouTube, Facebook, Google, Apple, and a bunch of others you've probably never heard of. It's a place where great minds come together to risk everything on ideas they believe in. It's a dreamer's paradise, and everyone has a fair chance to make it.
So, I think Facebook is an online directory for colleges, and it's kind of interactive. So if I want to look you up or get information about you, I just go to the Facebook and type in your name, and it brings me up like hopefully all the information I'd care to know about you. Or like
Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, many others. They've all come here to not only change the world, but also make billion-dollar companies. In this episode, we look into tech innovation, startup culture, and what it takes to make it in Silicon Valley. I'm visiting with 3 successful millennials that are leading the way. My first stop is none other than Adam Draper, son of Tim Draper, a renowned venture capitalist. Adam is now the CEO of Boost VC, an incubator geared towards mentoring startups to help them get to the next level. Twice a year, Adam invests in 20+ companies to live and work with them for 3 months. His goal is actually to be able to build an Iron Man suit, which I think is awesome. But all jokes aside, Adam's incubator is now worth $1.5 billion.
So what we do, we bring people from all over the world. We bring them to centers, Silicon Valley. We surround them with a network from Silicon Valley, a network of other peers who can help them. And they're getting all this value, and then we give a demo day where they meet tons of investors, and it's fantastic. And that ability to build a community doesn't only relate to Bitcoin blockchain, it also relates to any emerging technology. And so we ended up choosing virtual reality about 10 months ago.
The focus of Boost VC is on the future of technology. I'm talking about Bitcoin and, most excitingly, virtual reality. It's basically a portal that can do anything with your imagination. Think of anything that you love in your life and how VR can change that experience. For me, I love to snowboard. I could see what it feels like to be Shaun White at one of the biggest mountains in the world snowboarding. I mean, the sky's the limit. VR technology has finally reached a point where it can impact humanity in many ways. Adam predicts a huge culture shift that is about to happen.
I think there'll probably be 10 million headsets out there in the world by the end of this year, but next year will be like a huge, crazy growth. I mean, I think what's really, really cool is that good VR experiences are not going to be so much about like it'll be about the world that they've created and all that stuff, but it's really going to be about the interaction of it. So it'll be like the superpowers they add to your abilities. Like all of a sudden you're like throwing cars or walking through walls or doing like really cool things. And like it's like the tools they give you in order to experience whatever they're giving you to experience are going to be as important, if not more, than the actual experience, I think.
Your mission? Become an Avenger. Nice biceps, Hulk. Ooh. How do you like it?
Basically, we have every input ever. Like you can jab things, fight things, throw things, and it's going to be really interesting. I think we can actually do that one for you. Do you want to try it? Yeah. That one I can definitely do. So that one's probably. You can stay in the chair. I'll get the. There. You can put it on. Should just start playing. Can you look around?
It's like music, right?
Yeah, just look around. So you're just on a boat or something at the beginning.
Here,
it takes a while to get in. You're going to be in there for about 5 minutes before it's happening in 30 seconds.
Virtual reality seems to be a hot topic in Silicon Valley, but there's plenty of room for any type of product. Ryan Hoover, founder and CEO of Product Hunt, who we're about to meet, sees many new products on the surface every day. Hoover may not be a household name for the general public, but he's a rising star in the tech community. His company, Product Hunt, is quickly changing the way that new apps and tech products get discovered.
Prepare to embark upon the darkest voyage into the unknown in the history.
Got to meet Ryan Hoover, the founder of Product Hunt. I think it's really cool because I started my career building a community online, which I've talked about before, to learn about how to invest in stocks and stuff. And this guy's built a new community.
VCs have used the site to pick out their new investments. You have tech reporters turning to it for signals on apps that they want to cover. And most importantly, founders are flocking to it as a service for feedback on their product and a chance to get discovered by the masses.
Creating an email list is how it started. I like finding new technology, new products, kind of like you were describing.
Yeah.
How you were building a community of people like to learn from them that were interested in new technology, new things. And so creating an email list, which then, got a little bit of traction. People seemed to subscribe. They used it. They liked it. And from that, I was like, okay, this is cool, but an email list is so limiting. All you can do is consume it, and you can't talk with people, and you can't really open it up to a broader community of people posting things. And so we turned it into a site. Me and a friend, Nathan Bashaw, worked on it, and it was just a very simple app that was built over Thanksgiving break. And then from there, launched it, got a little bit of press, got more and more people using it, and then kind of the snowball effect happened from there. Yeah, in the beginning, I would wake up, like when we didn't have a team, I'd wake up in the morning and get like super stressed because I'd turn over at like 5:30 a.m. and I'd see like a spelling mistake or a bad URL, or in some cases we had bots that were actually just, we had bots like automatically uploading stuff. Yeah. And so we had no technology or people really to moderate that stuff. But now today we have actually a global team across the world.
Once a new product is posted on the main page, the community has the opportunity to upvote it. With enough upvotes, the product can reach #1 for the day, and at times cause the product to go viral. Making it #1 on producthunt.com is no joke. It could be your golden ticket. Companies like Meerkat have gone from just a successful launch to then raising millions of dollars from investors.
And the other thing that I'll mention too, though, is so there's Foursquare. This is a big company, and of course they have many people, but there's also independent like teenagers making and launching things on here. Early on, there was one of the most upvoted products was this guy. His name is he's in the Netherlands, named Juiced. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, but he's like 17 years old. He launched this thing, which was a tool to communicate notifications between your Mac and your phone. Anyway, really cool tool, really cool idea, and a good example of how anything across the world made by anyone can find some attention in some platform to get discovered. We've also seen a lot of apps, but like Lachlan? Another guy, I can't pronounce his name, he's 14 years old, and he's launched a couple apps. It's just really cool to see.
His burning lust for revenge pushed him to and beyond the limit where normal men would fall.
The important thing to remember about Silicon Valley is that innovation is key to staying atop. Many companies have risen to the top only to lose their relevance after 3 years. Take it from none other than Michael Birch, a guy who, back in 2008, sold his company to AOL for $850 million, only to later on being able to buy back the company from AOL for only $1 million. Michael Birch now is the founder and investor behind an incubator known as Monkey Inferno. So we're going to be meeting with young millennial and successful entrepreneur Shaan Puri. Michael Birch banked on Shaan to not only help be a co-founder and build out Monkey Inferno, but to launch their first startup where their focus is building a company known as Blab.
Only Gerard. I got you.
Hey man, we gotta represent Product Hunt, you know? We're doing this for you, right?
He goes, look, winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners.
Yeah.
And I was like, how true is that, right? How many different, people, especially when you start a company, you're worried about the competition, you're worried about other startups, you're worried about what big companies are going to do, you're worried about all these other things.
Yeah.
And all you should be, winners focus on winning.
Yes.
And losers focus on what the hell the winners are doing, right?
Shaan, leading the way as CEO, has now built this new communication platform that is rapidly growing.
And he's like, I'm in junior high. He's like, I'm in 8th grade. And I'm in Canada. He's like, where do you think I ever get to talk about tech, right? I get to talk about startups here. I get to talk about, I have an opinion on Twitter and why it's failing. And he's like, he was joining these conversations that, if he probably in his school, he could not find another kid who would even know what the hell he's talking about.
Think of it as a way to interact with live conversations with video about topics that matter most to you.
Biography is not your destiny, and neither is your geography, because I've lived in 9 different countries, different continents of the world. I lived in Indonesia and China and Australia and all these different places growing up. And you are the sum of the people you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounded by people who don't care about these things, you might count yourself out and be like, you might stop being interested in it. You might never have that other person that's pushing you or your ideas or that conversation late into the night. And so where do they find that? And that was the crux of it. So it's like, okay, where does that person find access to the people, ideas, and really the conversations that they should have? Like, how many people would love to hear this conversation we're having right now?
Can't wait.
And it doesn't exist right now, but there should be. So that was the crux of what we're doing.
Silicon Valley has always been at the forefront of technology innovation and has proved to be unique in the ability to provide opportunities that are not seen anywhere else. But things seem different today. I believe that Silicon Valley has transcended into a state of mind, a hustle mentality for the go-getters, those that want to be a part of something greater than themselves and they're not willing to make excuses about where they're from. Technology has given us access to the same resources everywhere. It's a matter of hard work and truly believing in your idea to make it happen. We're living in the most opportune time. And, I believe our generation is one of the greatest in history, definitely the most entrepreneurial. And this is our time. Sign up to GerardAdams.com today, join the Leaders Create Leaders movement, and be a part of the forefront of how we'll mold the future. Let's make history.
Do you think working for a startup is a good first step for an entrepreneur before he actually starts his own company?
I think it's super contextual, I would say. I think in general, most people, when I was 18 or 21 even, I was definitely not in the right position to start a company. It wouldn't have worked. But for other people, they might be 17 and they're perfectly equipped to do that. So I think it's very much contextual. But for me, startups are the fastest way to learn from a professional perspective in my mind. When you're at something that's 10, 20, maybe 30 people, you have so much opportunity to do so many different things. Versus being in the bigger company, you're going to learn a lot, but you're probably going to learn, you're going to go deep in a certain topic or
for the experience.
Right. So if you're a maker, if you want to make shit happen someday, if you're a hustler, if you're a designer, if you're a creative person in any way, even if you have if you're not a programmer or not a designer, but if you consider yourself to be a creative person who's the standard path is not the path I want to go down. That's really all you need to know. You get admission. Okay, so if you decided the standard path is not for me, you're in. And then how would it work? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how it would work yet, but I have some ideas, right? And I made this list. I drew a line down the middle of the paper, and I was like, here's how a school works, right? You pay to go to school. And I was like, well, you should probably get paid to go to school. How about that? Let's just flip the system on its head, right? Like,